Hi everyone, this is Kamal. Welcome back to my channel. Did you attend a Catholic school? Or did you have an administrator or principal who was just so stern, so strict? It drove terror into your heart, even though you knew that that they loved you. You knew that, you could feel that. But because they were so stern, it's like you just lived in terror. Well, a sweet kind of terror. Well, today I'm going to share with you an experience I had at the Catholic school that I attended, Holy Childhood High School in Jamaica. I attended Holy Childhood from 1985 to 1993, and my principal was the beloved Sister Mary Stephanie. She passed on a couple years ago, but we loved her so much because we knew that she wanted the best for us. Through all her sternness, and her insistence on us being her young ladies, as she would say, always calling us her young ladies. No, I usually, when we had mass, for Catholic schools, we would have mass maybe every first Friday, or maybe if there was a special occasion, we'd go into Stephanie Hall or we'd go into the church for mass. No, I'm not a Catholic, but I love to go up whenever they were having communion. I would go and just to taste the communion bread. After a while I realized it was too bland for my taste, and they didn't really serve any wine. It wasn't real wine, so after a while I lost interest. And so whenever they had mass, I would sometimes find somewhere else to go. No, I wasn't the only one with this intention, right? Many girls, because it was an all-girls school, all-girls Catholic school, so many of the girls found places to hide whenever mass would happen, because this would take like an hour, hour and a half, even 2 hours sometimes. And for us, this was much too boring, much too tedious to sit through, especially when there was no opportunity to get any real wine, right? So I remember this particular day we had mass. It was Friday mass, and a couple of us girls decided to hang out in the music room. Now the music room was it was on a separate building from the rest of the classrooms. It was in one of the older buildings that were on the compound. So you had some old cupboards, and creaky doors and so on. So we went into the music room and we were there just wasting time pretty much. We were not being the exemplary sixth formers that Sister Stephanie was trying to mold us into. We were the upper school, so we should be setting an example, right? We were not. So we were in the music room chatting away. In Jamaica we say labrishing, just gossiping, wasting time. I don't think any of us was really studying anything, so we were just there. And usually Sister Stephanie or one of the senior teachers would patrol the compound just to make sure that nobody was hiding away. So like if we were in the classroom and we saw anybody coming, we'd raise our legs up, because there were some windows near to the bottom of the room where if somebody was in the classroom, you could easily see their feet or the hem of their skirt through the window. So what we did was we would just raise up our legs, and so nobody would see. But in the music room, there was nothing like that. So somebody said, I hear footsteps, somebody's coming, maybe Sister Stephanie is coming. So everybody became agitated. Now we were trying to find somewhere to hide, but really there wasn't anywhere to hide in the music room, right? It's just this old building with some chairs inside and the cupboard. So then somebody said, let's go into the cupboard. So immediately she dashed into the cupboard. Now it was about 7 or 8 of us, right? 6 formers. And she said, let's go into the cupboard. No, I don't think any of us had any second thoughts about it, because we did not want to be caught by Sister Stephanie. That was immediate detention and a scolding, and you don't want to be scolded by Sister Stephanie. You do not want to be scolded. So everybody made this mad dash for the cupboards. Now these are some tiny cupboards at the base of the wall. So the first girl went in and, got in, and everybody one by one got into the cupboard. Now we were squeezed up. Can you imagine 7 girls in a tiny cupboard? So we were squashed in there, and it was so dark in there. We're saying, okay, she's not gonna find us, she's not gonna find us. We're just waiting. So we heard the footsteps coming in, and it's like we could hear our hearts racing, because we're saying, please don't let her find us. So she came in, we heard the footsteps, and then we didn't hear any footsteps anymore. So I said, okay, she must be gone, right? So we're there contemplating, okay, is the coast clear? Is it safe now to come out? And suddenly we just heard a voice say, okay, girls, come out now. Come out now, girls. I think she said young ladies, because, she's always calling us her young ladies. Young ladies, please come out. So one by one, we pulled the door, and one by one, we crawled out of the cupboard. Now, can you imagine 7 girls crawling out of the tiny cupboard? And Sister Stephanie just stood there, just shaking her head. And we felt so ashamed, so utterly ashamed. And then all of a sudden, she just burst out laughing. And to be honest, it's one of the first times, one of the only times, I've ever seen Sister Stephanie just laughing like that. Our behavior just inspired her into this. She just couldn't stop laughing. She just shook her head, and it's like she was saying, after all the things I've done to mold these young ladies, this is where I find them hiding in the cupboard, hiding from mass. I think she gave us that attention, I don't even remember. Or maybe she was just so tickled by the whole thing. She just marched us over to mass, and we just hung our heads as we walked over. And this has stayed in my mind all these years. I don't think I'll ever forget that experience, out of all the other experiences I've had, growing up under the firm guidance of Sister Mary Stephanie.